Hello, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started on the week 6 housekeeping items. Agenda for this presentation, we're going to talk about feedback on homework and quizzes. It's going to be the same spiel as what we did the first 5 weeks of the class. A reminder that assignment 1.2, the Math Resource Center quiz, is closed. No more submissions on that. You should see your week 2 and week 4 discussion forum grades out in the class portal. We'll talk about that. Reminder again about the honor lock practice test if you have not completed that, so we'll go over that again. We'll talk about the details involved with discussion 6 for the week 6 discussion. This is the one that I made mention last week as well as the beginning of the course. That's going to take a little bit more time as far as your initial postings out there. It's not going to be a matter of getting this done in, say, 5-10 minutes. It may take a little bit longer to accomplish what's required out of the initial post. We'll do a reminder again of the midterm exam. It has been open since the first day, typically assigned week 5, but just a reminder that that is open through the end of the course, and then my availability for the week. So let's go ahead and get started. As mentioned, the first 5 weeks, as you continue to complete any homework, quiz, midterm exam, practice midterm exam, practice final exam, those scores are automatically updated to the class portal. You do have until the very last day of class, that's Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time of week 11, to complete all of the assignments with the exception of the discussion forums and that assignment 1.2 that we've talked about before. Homework is practice until mastery. You can do those an unlimited amount of times. Quizzes can be taken up to 3 times. The best score out of that quiz attempt is recorded into the grade book. As made mention in the previous weeks, this is a friendly reminder on, if you haven't enrolled into My Math Lab, how to do that, as well as how to complete a homework or a quiz problem, as well as how do you see the feedback inside of My Math Lab, all covered inside of this announcement. We've made mention of this since the first week of class, but if you have not viewed this, this is a good resource to see how do you see feedback out there from My Math Lab's perspective. So this is available to you. It's been available since the first day of class. Math Resource Center assignment, again, was closed at the end of week 3. It cannot be submitted. Again, very minimal part of the grade, but that was only accepted weeks 1, 2, and 3 inside of the course. Feedback for week 2 and week 4's discussion should be inside the class portal gradebook. Discussion forums cannot be submitted late. As alluded to the previous 5 weeks of the class, week 5's discussion forum was not graded, so you would not see any score out there. So again, cannot be resubmitted unless there was some accommodation. And I've already responded to you regarding what that accommodation looks like. Going to the next slide. Honor lock practice test. I know I'm repeating this each week, but again, we're in week 6 of the class. This is a great time, if you have not done this as of yet, to make sure all your hardware, your software, your camera, your microphone, everything that's involved in terms of taking your final exam week 11 is up, ready to go. If you switch devices throughout the scope of the course, this also ensures that you can test it again. It can be done an unlimited amount of times. It does need to be done once to earn those 5 points. It does remain open through the last day of class, Sunday of week 11. But again, if you haven't done this as of yet, strongly encourage you to take a look at it. I don't want you to be in a scenario at the end of the course where it's Saturday, Sunday of week 11, and we're still trying to figure out any technical issues, because technical issues will not be grounds for an incomplete or an extension if you cannot use honor lock. So again, this is why I've iterated this multiple times since the first week of class. So I'll continue to do that even through the last week. So this is very important that you get this done previous to week 11 inside of the course. Okay, week 6 discussion. Talked about this last week. And again, for this week, Discussion forum for week 6 open 12 a.m. Mountain Time on Monday. Initial post is going to be due 11:59 p.m. on Thursday. So it didn't open early, but you've got this 4-day window to get your initial post done. Will not accept the post late, and if the initial post is not done by 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, you're going to lose 16 of the 20 points. Don't want that to fall into the case. That's why I announced it previously and announcing it again this week. So as made mention, the initial post is worth 16 points. You need it by 11:59 p.m. Mountain Standard Time or Mountain Daylight Time. And the timekeeper again is the D2L class portal. First response is worth 2 points. Second response is worth 2 points as well. So 16 plus 2 plus 2 gets us to 20 points. And again, timekeeper is D2L. If it's 11:55 at night on a Thursday Mountain Time and it don't post until 12:01 a.m. on Friday morning, you're going to lose 16 of the 20 points. The quality of the postings are important. Your initial post cannot be a placeholder. You can't do the hello posting for attendance, just like with week 2 and week 4. You're going to get a response back from me saying, hey, this is not an acceptable initial post. It'll be deleted, nor will it count for attendance. So again, let's put forth some effort of what's required for that initial post. And we'll cover in detail what's involved relative to that initial post here. Okay. You can't see any other people's posts first. We've addressed that in the previous 5 weeks. Nothing's changed there. And then the quality of the responses, the one sentence, you did a good job, isn't going to earn you points on a response. So again, want to put some thought process in terms of verifying the calculation, answering or supplementing some additional information on the committee that we're looking at, etc. But again, the key is the one sentence blurb of the good job post is not going to count for points. So again, please avoid it. You can also do something from week 6's homework that would count as one of those 2 quality responses as well. And I showed that back in week 2 as well as week 4 on those graded forums. Okay, so let's go into detail what's involved with this discussion 6 for the week. So give me just a second here. Whoop, let me go back. There we go. And let me go into the forum here. Here we go. Okay, first things first. On this, it will be very helpful if you have Microsoft Excel loaded onto your PC. You're welcome to contact NAU technical support at this 800-548-0602. You will also notice at the top of your class portal, there is a link here for Office 365. This will load Office 365 onto your Windows or Mac operating system to do the calculation that's referred to as part of the initial post. So if you're needing assistance, NAU technical support would be your point of contact. Unfortunately, with all the students inside the class, I cannot, from a faculty standpoint, support all, 20 some odd students that are inside of a class in terms of their configuration. So again, if you're having issues getting Office 365, which includes Microsoft Excel, loaded onto your PC, please contact support and they will be more than willing to assist you with that. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the U.S. Senate website. And what you're going to do is you're going to get a list of the individuals, the senators that form a respective committee that's out there. So you would end up clicking on that link. And the question is, which one do you respond to? Very similar to week 2 and week 4, you're going to use the first letter of your last name. So if it's Bugs Bunny, you're going to research the Armed Service Committee. If you were Elmer Fudd, you would research Energy and Natural Resources. Michael Weeman would do Environment and Public Works. So you would, based upon your first letter of your last name, that is the committee that is assigned to you. So then once you determine that, you're then going to open up the site and go to that committee you have been assigned to. From that site, it's going to give you some information. This is going to be broken up into 3 paragraphs: an introductory paragraph, a calculation or the body of it, and then a conclusion paragraph. The introductory paragraph is going to list out how many committee members are on that committee as of the time you go and research it, because depending on after 2022, that configuration may change, but it will always be up to date on that given website. So for example, for this one, this person researched agriculture, nutrition, and forestry. They had 22 members. So the sample size for this particular example is going to be 22 members. And you're going to click on the committee member list. You're going to see how many are in the majority and how many are in the minority. In this example, if you research from that website, there are 11 members in the majority, 11 members in the minority. So that's going to be your initial paragraph. So you're going to list out, I'm researching agriculture, nutrition, and forestry. You're going to list out your majority members. You're going to list out your minority members. So as of this, the example, it shows you what was involved. You're going to list out also their subcommittees. Every committee inside the Senate has a series of subcommittees that are out there. So you're going to include that as part of your initial paragraph. Now, once you get to the body of the paragraph, this is where Excel is going to come into play. Since there are 22 committee members, we obtained that from your initial research. There's 11 that are in the majority and 11 in the minority. Whatever that corresponding value is, you're going to choose 11 out of the 50 because there are 50 in the majority and 50 in the minority at the time of this recording. Now, after 2022, that value may be different. But again, for this example, we're assuming a 50-50 split inside of the Senate. So what you would end up doing is you would, inside of Excel, key in if 50 is the majority, 50 is the minority, 50 and 50 is the first parameter. There's 11 members in the majority, there's 11 in the minority. If there was, say, 12 and 10, you would change it to 12 and 10 respectively. Excel then is going to give you that value back. In the body of the paragraph, this is what you would include. You said, based on my calculation, there is, quote unquote, a lot, but you're going to quantitatively state how many combinations there would be. So you're going to use Excel to come up with that large number. And I will tell you, regardless of this, it's going to be a very, very big number. So don't freak out if you come out with something that looks very large. I intentionally did this when I set up this discussion forum so that you had to use Excel and not calculate this by hand. So it gives you some initial exposure to utilizing Excel, because if you have to take business stats, which is the MA2000 class, this is just to get your feet wet in terms of what you would use in that subsequent course if you do have to take business stats. So again, it isn't yet, you have to create a formula from scratch. No need to freak out. It's just you have to utilize Excel to come up with this value, because it is going to be, quote unquote, large from our perspective. Then in the conclusion paragraph, you're going to answer this question. It's going to ask, do some additional research, either do a Google search or whatever, on how a bill becomes law and the functionality of that respective committee. What did that committee do in terms of pushing legislation through Congress or through the Senate? You know, those are the things that you're going to address. So when all said and done, you're going to have 3 paragraphs that are going to be involved with this particular post to get to the 16 points. You're going to have an introductory paragraph, which is what we talked about before. The body paragraph, which is going to be that calculation, i.e. this guy right here. You're going to say, as a result of my research, you end up with that big number. So that's the body paragraph. And then the conclusion paragraph that answers this question there. So I'm looking for 3 paragraphs as part of the initial post. So again, if one of them's missing, you lose that percentage of points off of the 16 that's out there. So again, that's the functionality that's there. You can take a look at the rubric on how the points are broken down. But the initial post, this is why I stated this is not a 1 paragraph finish in 5-10 minutes. This is going to take a little bit of time because there is some research as well as some additional thought process that's going to be involved, especially in that conclusion paragraph that's out there to get to those 16 points. And then the responses, obviously, you would respond to the quality that's out there, verify if that calculation was correct. You also have the option of taking something from homework 6 and using that as a response that's out there. If you respond to the initial post Monday through Thursday, I will add some additional feedback in terms of if anything's missing or things to potentially look at in terms of improvement from that initial post perspective. So that's what's going on with week 6's discussion. Let me go back to my PowerPoint here. And then last but not least, or actually 2 things, apologize. Midterm exam, we made mention of that back week 5. This guy remains open through the last day of class, Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. Midterm exam is only 1 attempt, unlike other quizzes, you get 3. And then the midterm, again, is not proctored. Only thing that is proctored is the practice test for honor lock that we've been talking about since week 1 and the final exam. So the midterm exam is taken like any other quiz inside of the class portal. So again, you still have a few weeks to get it done if you haven't as of yet. But again, just a reminder, you've got 6 weeks worth of homeworks and quizzes as well as that midterm exam. So if you are falling behind, make sure that you're allocating time because I don't want you being at the end of the class not having the work done because there are no extensions after that Sunday of week 11 when all's said and done. Because again, try to make it as flexible as possible via Life Happens events. But again, we want to ensure that you are getting the work done inside the class. So I try to make it as flexible as possible. And just a reminder, just like the first 5 weeks, Monday through Friday, I will be inside the class portal. Benchmark and getting back with you within 24 hours, typically faster than that. After Saturday morning, I am not available Saturday afternoon through Sunday, and we'll respond to anything received during that time on the following Monday morning. Email address is listed there. If you've got questions, you can use the Google phone. However, it will be responded to via email. Let me know if there's any questions on what was covered here. Thanks.